Live in my kitchen where I wanted to go live anyway, and the lighting wasn't doing very well, and it looks like, okay, I'm standing down in something, but let's see if you find me now. I'm trying to see if I'm on the computer so that I can find my own video. Alright, Mud Pie Girl, I'm back. Do you hear me now? And April. You two were the first while ago. That's crazy. Alright, and Music Whale, big difference. Okay, I am on my phone as opposed to on the computer. The computer's driving me crazy. I cannot live stream from it ever, seems like. It's not even giving me my own live stream. And I'm looking down because I'm looking at the computer. Okay, I want to get the chat on the computer where I don't have to sit and... Okay, here we go. This is working a little bit better. Okay, guys, I'm just bored. And you'll find when I'm bored, I just find something to do. Okay, so let's see. The kitchen is better now than the living room, I'm assuming, because of the light. Much better. Grits, lunchtime. Hey, I had grits this morning. You'll find when I'm bored. Okay, let me turn sound off. Yeah. Alright, so what I'm doing, I started out, and I won't be watching the chat completely all the time because I'm going to be walking around a minute. I started out doing a live stream earlier, and it wasn't working too well. In fact, it was actually closed. I had nobody there, and I talked to myself for 10 minutes without anybody. So what I wanted to do was, I had people ask about, okay, looks good and sounds good. Okay, as long as y'all can hear me. What I wanted to talk about was in the kitchen, actually. And I had people ask if you needed to do without electricity. They said what kind of kitchen utensils you would need and things like that. Well, I'm going to try and do this one-handed because I'm having to use the phone. I see a lot of you guys have popped in, so I'm just kind of watching from two different angles. Okay, one of the first things is this. This is a potato masher. And this is a good sturdy one. This one has some really strong wire that it's made out of. That's only one of the word I know how to do it. You can use this for a lot of things, and I do use them. I have two. Let me show you. Let me see if I can find the other one. No, I don't have, the other one's not made like that. The other one's made like this. This is the old-fashioned potato masher. And all your stringy stuff like sweet potatoes and pumpkin get all caught up in there, and it's really aggravating. This other one does quite well. This one I like. This one mashes a lot better, does a better job. This is a heavy duty. This is an old one. It doesn't have the name on it that I see anywhere, but this one is excellent. And the other thing I wanted to show was, we called them an egg beater. I don't know what other people called them as kids. Y'all tell me what you call this. But this one was made by Maid of Honor. And I'm not sure if that's a really old one, or if it's something in the last 30 years or what. I'm not sure how old this thing is. But I picked these up at a secondhand store. I like going to antique stores, secondhand stores, things like that. And I can remember using this a lot. I don't know how many other people remember, but these were something that I used quite often. Most everybody's saying an egg beater. Yeah. Well, we used them to beat cakes up. You know, we didn't have a hand mix. I guess that is a hand mixer. The original hand mixer, I guess you would say. And when my mom, she had one of these, but it was the beaters were bigger than this. This is a smaller one, but hers was a little bit bigger, almost twice the size. And we used it for cakes. So did anybody else use it for cakes and stuff, or is that all you used it with eggs? So that's some of the things I wanted to talk about. These type tools, and these are, yeah, it may be buffering. I'm not sure how. These things are made sturdy. The ones you get in town now are so flimsy, and I don't like flimsy stuff. And yeah, I walked away from the living room. If I walk away from the living room, we're going to get more buffering. Seems like I can't go anywhere on that. Another thing, people have asked about things. Tara's Dining on a Dime. This is a good cookbook. If you're going to be using things in the store and you buy a lot, this cookbook is great. It's got a lot of recipes that are really easy. But I found that I can take her recipes that she buys things in town and use my stuff. And when I do something from her recipe, I change it and tweak it Deep South way. And we're going to do more recipes and things from there. I am an affiliate for Tara. I do have what do you call it? An affiliate link. And I'm going to try and get it in the description below if anybody wants one of those cookbooks. And I'm not sure if it helps for me staying in the living room or not. For whatever reason, sometimes the internet works in weird ways. So, with Tara's book, she has a lot of good advice on a lot of things. You want to book at the gathering. Yes, I'm going to have some of my cookbooks. I have about 35 maybe left. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring what's left of my cookbooks to sell them. Tara is bringing her cookbook. She's going to have a table set up and she's going to bring her cookbook to the gathering. And so in her cookbook, she has a lot of good ideas on, like at Christmas, I made the snickerdoodle cookies. I didn't want to make those and give them to my kids. So what I did, I mixed everything up, and Tara has that listed. And she, I put it in Ziploc bags. You do not do the eggs and milk or any of the wet ingredients. Buffering really bad now. Buffering worse than when I was in the kitchen? Okay. All right, guys. This may not be such a good idea. Hey, Bandana. Trying to figure out why I'm buffering more when I get closer to the internet than when I'm away. Okay. So, any of the things that you have in your kitchen that do not require electricity is excellent. I've got more tools, more things, and we're going to talk about my Hoosier cabinet one day. I'm trying to really get the Hoosier cabinet thing down because it's a really good piece of equipment that Danny built me. It's not the original. It's not actually a Hoosier because that was the name of the guy that built the originals. But I want to show my cabinet and the things he did for it and the things that were in the old cabinet. And as I was talking about Tara's cookbook, she has all these things in it that is really, really good. Gift ideas for packaging for people for Christmas. Then you have her just helpful tips. Some things like just simply keeping your kitchen clean. You know, that's something that I like to do is keep my kitchen clean. If I walk in my kitchen and it's dirty, it drives me crazy. I want to wash the dishes before I go to town. I want to have everything cleaned up before I go outside. You know, these sort of things are things that I like to do. So a lot of her helpful tips are really good. So I think you guys, if you're coming to the gathering, you're really going to enjoy Tara. That's, you know, and the gathering, March 11th, Stone County Fairgrounds here in Wiggins, Mississippi. I'm sorry about the buffering because it probably is the fact that I'm trying to be still, but it's not helping a whole lot. I'm not really good at being still. But the gathering will be a big giant meet and greet, a large seed swap. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm looking forward because we have a lot of people coming, and even more every day telling me they're coming. And y'all, I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. I'm getting nervous. I like people, but I'm not sure I have everything covered for the amount of people that are coming. We're at the Stone County Fairgrounds. It holds a lot of people, but I'm still kind of just freaking out a little bit about the amount of people, you know? I mean, I'm really excited about it, and I hope I'm not disappointing people because I'm trying to cover every basis, and y'all will know that I'm extremely OCD. You got your rental car? Yes. And you got a place to stay. Just saying. And I'm not kicking you out, Jen, I promise. Jen's going to be spending a few days with us, JM at the Nut House. She's been very special to us for nearly 2 years. And she's one of the first people I talked to on the telephone that actually called and talked to me. And she and I just kind of hit it off from the get-go. And so she's been very special. We met her in Tennessee this past summer. And she's coming here to Deep South for the first time. And we're going to try and talk her and Mike into staying in Mississippi close by. I don't like them in California. It freaks me out that they're in California. So we are all family. Yes, we're all a community. I guess that's the biggest thing to think. That's what we want this to be. Not a conference, but a community. And I know a lot of people keep calling it a conference. And Sherry at Two Families been calling it a Southern Conference. And every time she does, I crack up because all I can think of is Southern Comfort, the whiskey or whatever. And I'm thinking, we're going to get really mixed up with the Southern Conference, Southern Comfort, that sort of thing. And y'all, my mind goes weird. I'm sorry. But just because, but I really hope that everybody that comes gets to meet each other as much as meet us. It's not about me and Danny. It's really not about us. It's about you guys. It's about y'all having a place to get together. Just like now, I'm live mainly because you guys can sit and talk to each other. And once you talk to each other in the chat, you get to know each other, because I've gotten to know a lot of people through the chats. And you'd be surprised at your personalities, how your personalities come across. Danny had one lady, and I don't know, I've not noticed she's in here, but she might be. She called one day and she wanted Danny to profile her. And he goes, I don't think you want me to profile you. And she said, yes, I do. So Danny started telling her things about herself from just us seeing her in the chat and us talking to her. And she was cracking up, and her background, sorry about that, I just kind of clipped out a minute. Her husband was going, yes, that's you, yes, that's you, yes, that's you. And Danny had never met her, you know. And so that was kind of funny to me, but we learn a lot about you guys from how you say things, the way you say them, and your attitudes. And so we've learned that the people that come to Deep South on a Saturday night or come every day just to watch our videos, you guys are just special. You're not the kind of people that start trouble. You are the kind of people that want to homestead or are trying to prep, trying to find a way to save some money or whatever you're doing. And you're just looking for a little advice, or at least if you're doing it, you want somebody to tell you, hey, look, am I doing it right? Or you know you're doing it right, and you just want somebody to say they're doing it too. Well, that's what this community is about. Hey, Rusty, I saw my little Rusty Bell showed up. The community is not to break down other people. It's to uplift and encourage, and that's what we want to do at our gathering, is uplift and encourage everybody to do what they can to provide for themselves, regardless of whether it's just buying something at the store, storing up a little extra, finding a way to stretch meals. That's where Tara's coming in. Tara helps stretch meals, stretch the budget, she's got a lot of ideas on that kind of stuff. She also, I think, gardens in raised beds and stuff like like that where she's at. She's not exactly a homesteader. She'll tell you she's not. She's more of a frugal person. And she finds ways to save money, which is what we are all trying to do. And Dirt Patch Heaven is going to be there. If everything goes well, John's supposed to be with her. And we've come to love these two, Dirt Patch and John. Julianne and John and the girls spent quite a bit of time last Christmas was a year ago here, and we had a blast with them. And there's Beth. I was just talking about her. Ha! I was talking about the time Danny profiled you and how your husband was telling you in the background, yep, that's you. Yep, that's you. And Brenda's right. We do have the best community. It just, I don't know. Everybody has been fantastic. The people that have visited here have been wonderful. The people that come by and help, the woofers, the different ones that come stayed with us. We couldn't ask for a better group of people. You know, that's why we're really trying to get our cabin and the RV going. We're just a little slow because there's only two of us and we have to provide our own food and we have to do all this stuff. And the money is not there to just run out and build and do. We're having to save up. And I guess that's something sometimes that doesn't come across because most people go to the bank and borrow the money or whatever, that kind of stuff. But we're not borrowing money. We're gradually doing little projects, saving our money, and the RV is going to be one thing that we're going to try and get the bathroom finished in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We want that done. The cabin, we have the money for the floor, and we could do that, but then it's going to sit out in the weather, and we'd have to save up for the next process. We could have done the floor several weeks ago, but we decided not to do the floor, to wait until we can do the walls and the ceiling. So it's going to take a little money. And Leo says, I'm hoping to make it. Leo, we are looking forward to it. If you don't, you know you still have an invitation to come to Deep South. We've been waiting. So anytime. But when we get the money to go ahead and do all of it and black it in, that's when we'll start. And probably within 2 to 3 weeks, the thing will be blacked in. It doesn't take long because Danny is a master carpenter. He knows what he's doing. It's just that when money's tight, you have to slow up and backtrack and wait. And I found that lots of people aren't very good at waiting. How do you save money when you have none? That's hard to do. Number one, we don't have that many bills. So when the bills come in at the end of the month, I pay everything up. And then whatever's left over, I stash. And we don't go to the grocery store that much. And almost everybody has money of some sort coming in, no matter what kind of money it is. You just have to figure out how to cut back. And we started YouTube with absolutely nothing. I'm going to tell you guys, YouTube is paying the bills. Etsy is our extra money. So everything that we sell through Etsy helps forward our projects. So we appreciate every one of you when you go to Etsy and you do your buy our things that are on Etsy. Right now, Danny's been really slow the last month on wooden things because it's been so cold and he can't go out to the shop. I'm having to move around because my arm gets tired. I don't have a selfie stick. Y'all have selfie sticks? Send me a selfie stick. I might not be as tired. Just kidding. Just kidding. But we don't have wooden stuff done right now. We hope to possibly get back into that, but we've got the studio room to finish. We've got the RV to work on. And then we're fixing to plant. We planted the sweet potatoes for slips. There's a video coming up maybe this week on that. We're planting the potatoes later this week or first of next week. We're planting the English peas this week. So we have a lot of planning to do. Our projects have to come in between the planning and the harvesting and the canning. And right now, even canning, we have rabbits that need to be butchered. They will be butchered first of the week, possibly. I'm going to be canning that meat. Not all of it. I'm going to save the meaty parts for eating, canning the bones and broth. Then we have some little chickens that need to be butchered. And I hate using that word butchered, but y'all know what it is. You got a selfie stick for $5. I'm going to have to go look. We don't go shopping, so I wouldn't know what's in these stores unless somebody tells me. So I'm going to have to go look for that. But we have some small chickens, and they're not big enough for just like eating because they're bantams. But they're free ranging, and they're going to be getting in our garden, and we can't have that. So we're going to be canning that meat. Yeah, and there's lots of things that we're going to be doing. So it's not like we sit around trying to think of what we're going to do next. No, we've already got it planned out for weeks in advance. It's just that every day things change, just like today. We got up and, what did we even do to start with? We got up, went and fed the baby goats, and both of them are doing fine, by the way. Thank you, Maya, for helping me. Maya Crosby from Crosby Indigo Farms helped me last week with what I thought was a really, really tough. I was afraid I was going to lose my little goat. But she just had the tummy ache, and I just had to figure out how to get rid of it. And we did. I worked with her all day. She did good. Never a dull moment. Yeah, that's right. But we started out with the goats. Then I can't even remember what we did afterward. We've had several things going on, but then like when we ate lunch a while ago, we were fixing to do another project, and guess what? The neighbor comes up, needs help. So Danny goes and helps him. We drop at, whatever we're doing when a neighbor needs help. That's just the way we are here. Yesterday we had a neighbor over visiting. It was raining. We couldn't do anything else. We had a fun time with the neighbor. That's just what we do. Ah, Pam's back. Hey, girl. Still waiting to let you come drive a tractor. You know that. And so we take time for our neighbors. We take time to help our neighbors. That's why the Lori family's coming this way. They should be here within the next few months. I think Brian's coming in the next couple of weeks, but they're not going to be moving yet. They're working their way toward this. So y'all are going to get to see a work in progress because they have to sell their house. They have to finish the tiny house and bring the tiny house here. And I think it's exciting, guys, to watch somebody from the ground up. And that's what we were wanting to do with our cabin too, is to show from the ground up. We took a piece of property. We started with the cabin, and we can't just go do everything all at one time. But we're going to start showing you as we plant trees, what type of trees we plant, if we're going to add more buildings behind it, around it. What else was the thing? Animals. What kind of animals we would have over there. Because we're gearing it toward 2 separate type homesteads where people can come visit us and stay in the tiny house or in the cabin. It's going to be called a candy corn cottage because, hey, I like candy corn. I have almost, this is something I need to tell you guys. Anybody's coming to the gathering, I have approximately 20 different varieties of candy corn. And what I'm thinking I'm doing is anybody that can find me a type of candy corn I don't already have, I'm going to have a prize that day for people that bring me candy corn that I don't already have. So I've got about 20 varieties. So you guys it's up to y'all to see if there's another variety out there. I just got to think of what kind of, I'll probably put all the people, if more than one person finds a candy corn I don't have, I'm thinking, bye April, I'm thinking I will put everybody's name in a hat and draw for something. I'm not sure yet, but we're going to see how it goes. Sounds like an awesome name for a cabin. Yeah. One of our subs started calling it a candy corn cottage, and so we just thought we would pick that up, and we liked candy corn cottage. It's not going to be full of candy corn stuff exactly. It's going to have the colors. We're going to use oranges and blacks and yellows and browns and some blue and some green. I know that's not candy corn, but that's the colors that's going in it. I've already got things started. When I see something at a secondhand store or a challenge accepted, I'm waiting. I have a variety. I'm going to sit down and do another video and show you, because I'm going to put my candy corn in some kind of something for the gathering to show the display. And so I've got to figure out what I'm putting them in to have them all displayed and named. All right, yes, I missed you. I needed somebody to send me back. This is my sis, to family. Sherry and I go back and forth all the time. But our cottage is going to be decorated with things I find that bring out the colors. Like I found an orange hat. It's a lady's spring hat, and it's out of I don't know. It's like it's woven together like a straw hat kind of, but it's not really a straw hat. And it's a beautiful orange. And so I snagged that hat, got it for nothing. And so that hat's going to be part of the display in the Candy Corn Cottage. And the people that come to visit will get to stay in that cottage. It'll be off-grid. You'll get the off-grid experience. And hey, isn't that fun? You know, you get to stay here at Deep South off-grid and see how you like it. Plus, it's a nice, it'll be a cute cottage. Danny's got a lot of good ideas. So, I don't know. I've been rattling long enough, guys. Do y'all have any questions? Because, really, it's hard for me to sit and talk to myself. I'm watching your comments, but, you know. And we have, oh, somebody was saying something about going through the house. Oh, we have stuff here. I can't tell you one thing. Never mind. I was going to tell you about one thing that I got going on, but we are going to have a surprise at the gathering. Just know that. There's going to be a surprise, and it's going in the Candy Corn Cottage. Wonder if they make candy corn in weird flavors like jelly beans. I've got jelly bean candy corn. Somebody sent me something that had to do with jelly beans. Y'all see that right there? Let me get closer. And y'all going to fade out for a minute. Let me turn around. I don't know how much you see of this. That is actually a puzzle that my mom and dad put together several years ago, and it hung over their fireplace. And I'm thinking that's going in the cottage at some point. We're not sure. And this one was another one that they had in their house. And that's sort of what our cottage is going to look like. That's why we love this picture. It's going to have a green roof. The only difference is it's going to, the side that has the fireplace is going to be on the other end, and there's going to be a porch where the fireplace is. So that cottage there, or that little cabin, is what ours will look like. Thomas Kincaid, yes. My mom and dad love Thomas Kincaid, and they put them together. So that second one is kind of what our cottage is looking like. That's why we love that picture so much. And let's see, what else? You guys got questions. I see several of you, challenge accepted. You're going to try and find candy corn. I'm hoping that at some point I can sit down and get more done. I've got to send Sherry some things I need to do with the next few weeks of advertising the gathering again. Let's see. Crazy Days is just going to be Crazy Days. You know, this Kiss My Grits thing is simply me just chilling, having fun. What other non-electric items do we have? We have the chinois. We called it a chinoy. And we got told it's not a chinoy, it's a chinois. I don't know how many of you know what a chinois is. Do you want to see it? I'm moving, and you're probably going to say I'm buffering. But we use this one quite often for tomatoes. Oh, let me see. We use this for tomatoes, making great, like our muscadine, is to take out seeds from veggies or fruits. This thing is awesome. It has legs with it. This is an old one, been used quite a bit. We use it every year. Strainers. I think strainers is very important, something that you can strain, something all different sizes. We have several types of containers and strainers. Kathy says she uses that for making applesauce. Yes, it takes out the seeds, it takes out the pulp. You get mainly the juices. You get some pulp, but you don't get all the stringy stuff. Let's see, what else? Knives. Knives is very, very, very important. Everybody needs a good set of knives, all kinds of knives for all kinds of things. This right here, one of my favorite tools. I'd never used one of these until I married Danny King. I didn't even know what it was. I mean, well, I knew what it was, but I never used one. You got a tough piece of meat, this tenderizes it. Even tenderized meat, this works. This is something I enjoy very, very much. It's one of those. What else do we have? We have all kinds of stuff that's non-electric. I don't know how many. This right here, Pampered Chef can opener, hand can opener. I love my Pampered Chef hand can opener. And Danny's daughter Jen is going to be there. She's going to have Pampered Chef. Anybody that wants Pampered Chef, let us know. We can get in touch with her. She's going to have a setup. Pampered Chef's awesome. I don't own an electric can opener at all. This is it. And we have the little army thing that you use to open cans. I advise everybody have something to open a can with. That's massive if you're going to store up cans. Don't depend on your electric can opener for anything. So, let's see, what else? Basters, whisks, knife sharpeners, another one. Funnels, hand can openers, thermometers, all this stuff. Yes, that's the type that does the smooth top where you don't get cut on the can. I love mine. Pampered Chef is a little expensive, but I'm going to tell you guys, it's worth it. I've had that can opener, gosh, Danny and I have been married 5 years, and I bought it a year or two before then. So 7 or 8 years. A pastry cutter. Oh, yes, I do have one of those too. I thought we had one, and I was hunting one because I don't ever use a pastry cutter that much because we don't make biscuits and stuff like that very often. And when I went to hunt one, I couldn't find it. Guess what? We have one. And this one is put out by, I can't read it. I don't know what the brand name is. But anyway, this one is a good one. You want a good one. This one came from a place we have in Hattiesburg that is strictly a kitchen shop. I forgot what it's called. A flour sifter. Yes, I have a flour sifter, and we got one from the Homestead box from last month before. I don't remember. But the flour sifter works wonderful. I would advise all these things you should have just in case. People have gotten so used to these things. I'm getting so tickled at Tara on Living on a Dime with the Instapot. I'm thinking, if it's that much trouble to use an Instapot, why not just simply cook it on the stove and be done with it? Can it save you that much trouble? Yes, granted, she's getting some things cooked, and I know probably a lot of people like their Instapots, but it's electric. I mean, it's electric. So, I'm not sure. I would rather just put water in a pot, throw some rice and salt in, and cook it. It's not that difficult. Why do you need something special to cook? I just don't understand it. Too many people are hunting new gadgets that cook things faster. The microwave. Danny and I don't use a microwave. We have one in the barn. It hasn't even been turned on in 5 years I've been here. That's just, you know, people think we're crazy. People come here and we don't have a microwave. Cooking with a wood stove. Wood stove makes a huge difference. Danny and I cooked a lot of our meals on the wood stove, and I'm going to tell you, the taste is night and day to what you cook on a regular stove. New gadgets make you lose the old skills. I agree 100%. People don't know how to cook. When I put up a cooking video, I've had one young girl say, but that's not a recipe. And I'm like, why do you say it's not a recipe? It was because I dumped in things and I didn't give them a specific, hey, use 1 cup of this, 2 cups of that, 3 cups of that. I don't cook that way. I just cook. And I know what I want it to taste like, and I know how I want it to look. And I adjust my ingredients accordingly. And so it's the new thing that you've got to have a recipe. You got to know how to follow the directions, and you've got to have it written down. I don't do that. I'm sorry. That's one reason I don't do cookbooks. I did the first one, and that was from recipes I already had, and I've memorized most of those, and I don't even go back to my own cookbook. I found a couple of mistakes one day when I finally went to my cookbook to check something. I found out I'd made a couple of mistakes, and hey, it's just crazy. Hey, Mr. Rain, Ritz crackers and homemade peach jam. That sounds pretty interesting. Yeah, you kind of get a feel for things, and that's where my cooking is going with this cooking, Great Depression cooking. Yeah, I'm finding out Great Depression cooking wasn't all it was cracked up to be. I really thought that the Great Depression cooking was a lot of the home cooking like I do. I found that more of their meals were geared toward taking canned stuff and making casseroles. That's where our casseroles came in. And I thought, wow, that's really crazy. But we use all the stuff from here from Deep South as much as possible. We do go to the grocery store occasionally. That's something I've got to do. But a lot of our stuff is what we raise. I go to the grocery store for things I can't raise. And when we go, I might buy a bag of chips, one bag. That lasts a month to 2 months before we go back. Not that it lasts that long, but that means we're not getting any in between. Things, I might pick up something I like. Danny doesn't buy junk food. I will buy a junk food item or two occasionally. But we limit to probably under $10 of what we even spend on junk. Then everything else is salt, sugar, baking powder, vanilla. What else? I've got a list going right now that I've got to go buy. All right, I'm watching. Some of you said something about cooking on a cook stove. If we were cooler, we would cook on the cook stove a lot. But it's so hot here, we don't take and use the cook stove as much. Now, this winter's been an exception. We've been able to have the wood heat going continuously for 3 weeks. So that's unusual. Most of the time it's 70 to 90 degrees during the winter, and you don't want to turn a cook stove on. But we have a rocket stove, and we have 2 different sizes of rocket stoves. That's something that we haven't showed too much. So we have the design for one of the rocket stoves on our Etsy store if anybody's interested. And Danny and I are going to start doing some cooking and showing you the rocket stove and what it can be used for. We meant to do that off and on, but y'all, there's so many things we mean to do that we can't get done. Lots of times when we start doing things, it's after the fact and we go, oh crap, we should have filmed that, you know. And we have videos every day, so it's not like we're running out of stuff. I see they're talking about the cook stove. Yeah. We actually, most of the time, Danny will do breakfast on the cook stove. He does eggs, grits, oatmeal, that sort of thing. When we had bacon, he would cook the bacon, but we haven't had bacon in a long time. She's been making cookies. Glenn, I would love to have some cookies. That gives me an idea. Maybe I should go make cookies. But that's where I'm at. I just wanted to jump on, talk a little bit about what's going on with Deep South, talk a little bit about our gathering and things like that. And I'm not sure what all we're going to be doing over the next few weeks, but planning is one of them. Goat videos is most definite because they're getting attitudes big time. And both of them have definite personalities. So did we ever have a dog? Danny had a dog when we got married. The dog was actually Debbie's dog, his previous wife who passed away from cancer 2 years before we met. It was a white, a West Highland White Terrier. I always get that wrong. I had to stop and think. Rue was 10 or 11 years old when we married. Already an older dog. He had a cancer 3 months before Danny and I met, I think, and almost died on him. And so he didn't think he would live that long. But he lived 2 years longer and was one of the most spoilt dogs you've ever seen. He loved for me to start with the lettuce. He liked, I use romaine. He wanted the stems out of the romaine. And don't ever get any cheese around the dog because the dog would take you down for the cheese. He loved cheese. So, yes, we had a dog. But 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, he passed away from old age and a skin disease that took over his body. And we haven't gotten a dog since. The goats are our dog, I guess. We talked about a dog. We saw one in the paper, a couple of puppies last week, and I almost convinced him to go get them. And y'all, I'm not an animal person, but I was trying to convince him to go get the dogs. So probably at some point we'll end up with another dog. He wants I think it's a yellow mouth cur is what he's looking for. What kind of vanilla do we use? Real. I do not like imitation vanilla. And I have the stuff to make my own. I'm going to start it. Jen at the Nut House is going to be on my case because I should have started last year and it still hadn't been started. I've got to get in there and start. Yes, having everything in one location helps. Real is the only way to go for vanilla. Hey, I love Mexican vanilla. I'm going to tell you guys, if you can ever get some out of Mexico, that's like the absolute best. Heidi is meaner than a dog protecting a bowl when it comes to her cheese and yogurt. That's where we're at. I never thought I wanted to make cheese or yogurt or anything like that. But once we got started in that, the Homestead box got me kind of interested in it. I'm hooked. I think it's a good thing to do. I mean, I was really pleased that other people did it. I just didn't think I wanted to do it. And us not having a cow or goats was one of the reasons because it cost so much for us to buy it. But now we're going to raise our goats in order, because they are half Nubian, hoping to be able to milk, but it's going to be over a year. And then we have neighbors that have goats that milk, so we can get from them. We're hoping to work into where we do have butter, cheese, and yogurt from our place. Yeah, homemade yogurt with butter. With honey. I got you. I'm trying to read this little tiny print and talk. It's hard. Okay, guys. I'm going to get off here. I think I've taken enough of your time, but I just wanted you to know you guys are special. You mean a lot. You mean a lot to Crazy Days. Oh, my t-shirts are still available. It's going to be one of those crazy days. You guys can still get a t-shirt. And even Deep South and Porch Time, even though they told us they would be off at a certain time, when I go over to check Crazy Days, you can still, until tomorrow, I think. Because yesterday it said 2 days. So Monday would be the last day for Porch Time and Deep South t-shirts. But my t-shirts for Crazy Days are pretty awesome. And they're still available till the 2nd of February. You go buy one, have fun. And I think we'll talk to you later. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get out of here. Not sure how that's going to work. Lots of times this thing... no, it's giving me something else, guys. I'm going to figure out my buttons on here. All right, let's see. Every time I hit this, it's not giving me the right buttons. I'll turn it sideways. Nope. Yes. All right, I figured it out. Bye, guys. Y'all have fun. It's going to be one of those crazy days today at Deep South Homestead.